happy Friday. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny, and manifesting the life you desire, and I hope you're all doing well. And if you're not, then I hope that this space brings you some peace, brings you some clarity, and some answers to the questions that you bring today. For anyone new here, if you would like a free reading, just click the link in the pinned bio. You'll be added to a list. Just wait for your name to be called. A reminder of how I read. So I'm an energy reader, connecting to your energy, your situation. Please provide as much context and detail as you can when asking your question about you, about your connection to anyone in your situation, etc. It allows me to connect with your energy and provide really a meaningful reading and translate the messages that are brought through from spirit. I don't do timelines, I don't do general readings, and I don't do yes no questions, so please do bear that in mind when asking your question. And whilst you're here, whilst you're waiting for your reading, please just check the chat guidelines that are posted regularly. Just for all the info, it's really in those Nightbot messages. But let's get into it. Let's take a deep breath, center ourselves, and be open to the messages that Spirit has for us this Friday. Hey to everyone in the chat. Hey Denise, Danny, Kelsey, Ivor, Venny. Lovely to see you all. And I'm using the Muse Tarot deck today. And I'm just going to go over and grab the list. It's actually already full, so before I even get started, I'm just going to close it. And I'll grab that list for everyone to see. How are we all doing? Hey Namira, are we ready for the weekend? How has everyone's week been? Venny, my love, you are first on the list. There's the first half of the list. And the second half. Thank you, Venny. Venny asks, I would like to know, how will my career be in the coming months? Is there any job change coming for me? Been applying many jobs but can't get breakthrough. Is there any blockages? Thank you, Venny. So are you in are you currently working now and looking for a new job, or are we in between jobs? Let's see what's coming. Spirit, please tell us what's coming in the next few months for Venny. In career. And are there any blockages that they can work on? Nice card, nice energy, positive energy, Venny. So 4 of inspiration. There is a celebration coming up, okay? 4 of inspiration is a card of celebration, of reaching a milestone. 4s talk also about stability and laying a good foundation. I always think in this deck as well, like it looks like literally a piece of a foundation. And I feel like there is a connection here to, maybe it might be a smaller team that you move to, a smaller network, because there's this sort of tight-knit group of women, of female energy. So there may be like a female boss, or the group that you're taking into, there is a strong divine feminine energy. These energies are very positive though, orange, yellow, pink. So it's a welcoming, expansive, celebratory energy. So I take this as a as a positive shift, you know, a move in the right direction for you, and cause for celebration, Venny. So a breakthrough that you've been looking for. I'll see if there's any blockages that we can be working on in the meantime to bring this through as quickly as possible. So you've been working now. No worries, Danny, Venny, yeah. It is a beautiful card, isn't it, Katana? Venny says, yeah, I'm working now, been here for long and I feel so saturated. Okay, so ready to move on, so it's on its way to you. And, you know, all the good vibes there. And like I say, signs to look at for female, divine feminine energy, female ran business, tight-knit, and maybe a smaller company, a smaller business, which might be more entrepreneurial and less corporate. Any blockages, Spirit, that Venny has that they can be working on? I would always suggest, you know, keep working on your manifestations, Venny, if you have a daily practice or look to incorporate one. Visualizing, meditation, journaling, or all of the above, whatever inspires you. So any blockages is Three Voices it's interesting. It's like there is some healing that needs to be done on your part. Interesting. Take how this resonates, because Three of Voices is about heartbreak and disappointment. I don't know if it's like that you've experienced in your career, maybe a setback, maybe where you are now, that there has been some painful experiences. There's some kind of wound here. And when we're in Three Voices energy, it can be that we are spiraling into the things, you know, when you're in a place of pain and suffering, it's more challenging to align with what comes next for us and what is positive. Okay, we may have fallen into nothing works out for us, it's never going to happen for us. This would suggest, you know, it's okay to feel these emotions, cry it out. Crying is a very healing, positive, cleansing. I always think crying is a release, yeah, that we're allowing that pain and that built up suffering to be released. And what that can do is soften us to open up to what comes next. So maybe you're being a bit too harsh on yourself as well, a bit mean to yourself even, beating yourself up that you should be doing more. And really all you should be doing in this time is focusing on your healing and preparing really for the next step so that we're ready. So Venny says, yes, I am experiencing this. Okay, it is hard when we're in a negative situation. I've been there in a job that, you know, a corporate role that I've hated. Oh, and it's very tough. It's very hard to hang on, to wait for the next chapter and not just take as well whatever comes. Like, we have to hang on to our hat and wait for the right opportunity as well. But when we're in a very toxic situation or a painful situation, we're desperate to leave. It's a hard place to move from. But so look after yourself, Venny, in this time. Be as kind to yourself as possible. Acknowledge that it's difficult, it's stressful, but try to trust as well. Look at the contrast of those cards. You know, this dark, kind of very gloomy, sad, wounded energy, which is where you find yourself now, really struggling. But this is on the horizon, this is coming. And with the timeline was, you know, I don't do exact timelines, but we can do time frames of the next few months, and that is what's coming to you. So this really lovely, such a shift, such a change. So hang on to that and let that bring you some peace and hope now, Venny, I hope. Hope that resonated. Venny says, yes, actually I've been feeling like crying these days. So allow yourself to cry, you know, if you can do it with loved ones, or if it's easier, some people, to cry, you know, on your own. But it's good to just it really is good just to let it out. And it's a kind of cleansing and a release, and it's the hardest when it's all built up, and bottling up emotions is the most toxic. Okay, Benny, keep us posted. Hey, Danny, so glad you could make it. So next up we have Sruthi, my love, if you are here. I'm not sure if I've seen Sruthi, but maybe she is hiding in the shadows. You're welcome, Benny, you're welcome. So we have Sruthi and then we have Katana. You can both go ahead and post. Thank you, Katana. So I don't do general readings, Katana, so if you want to look at a particular area, family, love, career, or is there something about the Christmas season that you would like guidance on, you know, if it's family, because I know that the Christmas season, you know, for many people it can be a very difficult time. It can be a lonely time, or it can be a time that's full of tension with family. You know, for some it's an opportunity to connect with family, but for others it can be very difficult. So let me know, Katana. Like I said, I don't do general readings, so please bear that in mind when asking questions. Okay, so let's see what's coming next for Katana in love, please, Spirit. So the immediate future is there is still something important to learn and some insight to gain, Katana, on being in hermit mode, in being in isolation. Can you see how there's this bright light that is shining, that is being illuminating? So even though it can be difficult, even though it can be challenging and maybe feel like a very long time that you've been single, but being single or being on your own and hermit energy is about a journey of self-reflection and learning and growing, getting to know ourselves, getting to know what we want, healing from the past, getting ready for the new person and the new connection. So don't dismiss this time alone and this time when we are single. It's actually incredibly valuable and important to get to know ourselves and get to know what we want, build inner strength, gain insight. Spirit, can you tell me who or what's coming when a connection is the right time for Katana? Oof. Eight of Voices is saying that this could be about the insight that you need to gain, which it's talking more on. Spirit will only tell us what we are ready to know or need to know right now. And the Eight of Voices is about, there is fears and anxieties and worries that are maybe blocking us and blocking what we want to come through. It can be that we fear that we'll never find love. It could be that. But the Eight of Voices very much has an energy of the sort of, one of the quotes of this card of, it's a prison of our own making. And what this woman doesn't realize is that she can untie herself, she can take off her blindfold and really walk away from this situation. So it might be about your outlook on this situation now, and I don't know if it's tied. Take what resonates here, leave what doesn't. Is there ties to someone in the past that is causing this level of stress? Like, what is your, it would be good to know, what is your insight on being single? Does it make you feel bad about yourself? Are you worried that you'll never meet someone? Is there ties to the past? There's something about the energy around a relationship that feels very tense. Because this Eight of Voices, as you can see, it's quite some heavy energies here. Final message and then I'll move on. We could still be in healing mode if you've had a toxic relationship in the past. Oh, look, because there we've got the promise. Here it is. Here's your Page of Emotions. The offer of new love. Page of Emotions is an offer of love here. Look at this heart here, expanding, glowing. Emotions is all about love, romance, a gateway opening to a new beginning, a new life, which is on the cards. But right now it feels imperative that really this healing period is still ongoing. Some childhood trauma. Okay. So that's that deep, maybe heavy stuff that's going on that this card is picking up on. So hopefully that if Katana, you may already have found someone that you're able to work with around that childhood trauma to do some healing. Appreciate obviously not doing online dating, doesn't work for everyone. So to recap, yeah, it's important to do this inner work first. Essentially, I feel like healing in some time alone, doing some shadow work maybe, and then we will be ready for this beautiful shift and switch up of this Page of Emotions. So I'll leave that there, but I hope that resonated. Thank you, Samreen, for posting. So Samreen asks, does pilot energy about our future together change into something positive? He was non-committal previously, yes. Also the match, yeah, I was interested about this. Also the match my mum found wasn't good. Entire time he was discussing my mother's health. So did that, I remember Samreen, it was like going to be quite a strong feeling, like an immediate no kind of energy. Hopefully your mother, Samreen, isn't pressuring you to continue that connection. Absolutely, Katana says I'm working on that. It's a long journey, you know. And childhood trauma always stays with us to some extent. We can only learn to live with it. And you're very welcome. Okay, Samreen, this is for you. So let's have a look at the Pilot's energy about your future together. All right, that's a relief, Samreen. Because this is following on. Do you remember last time, Samreen? I believe there was a switch up in your Pilot's energy, that they felt more committed, that they were holding on to you quite tightly. And then now we have the Chariot energy, which again feels like a continuation of that. It's a major arcana. So this denotes big energies, intense energies. And it's the Chariot, which is about forward momentum, wanting to move forward with this. So I feel like things are shifting in the right direction. And look at these charging horses here. So it's pulling them forward, and I feel like there has been a shift. Chariot has a lot of confidence. The Chariot is very confident about overcoming obstacles. If there are any difficulties, they want to overcome them. They want to work this out. They want to work this through. So I feel like this is very positive. Look at all these bright colours, these pinks, these oranges, this energy from their kind of gut, really, their inner energies. Now it's like pulling them forward with this. So yeah, more of the same, Samreen, that I see that they want to make this work. They now feel more invested in this, and that I could feel more confidently that that kind of flip-flop energy has moved away. They've moved out of that. I'm not saying that it's gone for good, but you know, things right now, currently, are moving in the right direction. So take this as a really good sign, as a good omen, that right now things are going in the right direction for you. So hopefully you can build on this. Hopefully this continues, and hopefully this is manifesting in their actions, Samreen, towards you. I don't know if you feel this, if you are experiencing this in how they are being with you. That this Chariot energy, that you're actually experiencing this from them, because this is what the cards are saying is what's going in their emotional outlook and mental outlook. They want to make this work. They want to make this happen for you, Samreen. That's like I'm just going to leave it there with that one card, because it was very clear, very straight to point to the message, and I don't think we need to ask Spirit more than that. It was just like, yes, I want to make this happen. I want to move things forward. I'm into this. So hopefully that resonates for you, Samreen. Next up we have Danny. My dear, it is you're welcome, Samreen. Do you see that, Samreen, in their actions? Let us know. Are you experiencing that? It's always good to get a check-in with, see that these energies align. Thanks, Danny. So Danny says, I haven't spoken to this man named Kerry in almost 4 years. But yesterday saw his Instagram profile and asked how he was doing. He immediately sent me 3 long texts, oh my goodness, about how he missed you. Crazy. Not sure why he didn't say these things back then. Yeah, so I'm confused if he genuinely meant it. What are his intentions? Is he hoping for something romantic by telling me he missed me? Wow, that is unusual, isn't it, Danny? Maybe he needed that green light from you. Let's have a look at his intentions. Let's have a look what he wants from you, from this situation. Spirit, please bring a message through for Danny regarding Kerry and their messages. Seven of emotions, options, choices in love. Let's see if this is your energy or their energy. Clarification, please, Spirit, for this Seven of Emotions. Ooh. Okay. So I feel like this is their energy, Danny, okay? This is someone, okay, who I feel like, look at all this water, look at all this emotion. I feel like this is someone who's kind of in love with love. And the expression kind of lots of fish in the sea, or that's not quite right actually what I'm trying to say, but is that they've always got kind of lots of love options on the go. And maybe this is their kind of MO, to make these like big love kind of declarations, or not love declarations, but you know, I miss you, these kind of intense messages. There is something, the Seven of Emotions, you know, the advice for this card is that we kind of need to get a bit more grounded. It can be someone who's maybe a little bit delusional about, you know, love, very emotional, love bombing, that kind of energy, you know, that comes to mind. But the energy kind of feels all over the place, because then we've got the Two of Emotions, which is like soulmate energy. But there's something about it that feels a bit disingenuous and a bit like that they fall, you know, those people in a way who, you know, they fall in love, you know, with 3 different people a week kind of vibes. I just keep hearing they're in love with love. So yes, this is romantically charged. This is, does have that kind of energy to it, romantic by nature. But it feels like that you would say maybe be an option, and that you would be someone who they would maybe pursue this and have a romantic connection with you. But they have a lot of these people on the go. Like they're probably talking to a lot of different people and having similar kind of conversations, yeah? Final message, and then I'll move on. Anything else that Danny needs to know? Or guidance specifically for Danny with this? I mean, it could be fun. It could be a bit of fun if you wanted to be open to that. But I feel like this is interesting. This is advice, guidance for you, Six of Voices. This is about moving into calmer waters, a more peaceful time. And I feel like that's, Danny, what you need to look to. You need to focus on. We're actually trying to move away from tumultuous times in the past. The Six of Voices is when maybe in the past things have been, you know, we're moving from choppy waters, and we're trying to make positive changes. We're trying to move to more calm waters. We're being intentional about this change. You're going through somewhat of a transformation, and maybe just maintaining meaningful connections in your life. And this feels like it would really bring some fun, but it also would bring chaos and put you, sort of drop you back into maybe deep water and tumultuous waters, which I feel like isn't the right vibe. Okay, we're trying to make efforts to, yeah, be calm and have meaningful connections and move away from maybe some chaos of the past. I hope that resonated. Thank you, Anne. So Anne says, I have walked a long and weary road in love, through many disappointments, heartbreaks, and silent prayers. I have tried to keep faith, yet despite all my hope and effort, I see no visible sign of the love I seek. I now find myself standing at the edge of surrender, unsure whether to still believe. In this moment, I ask for divine clarity. Why has my destined partner not yet crossed my path? I wonder if the one meant for me truly exists in this world. Whew, big question there, Anne. Thank you for sharing such honesty, such depth there in your question, in your beautiful question, even though it is a painful question. And a question that I feel like more of us have. Lots of people have this question and maybe never find their person. Not to say that you won't, Anne, but this question of still, why haven't I found them already? Yeah. And it begs the question if you will ever meet that person. Something that maybe, if you believe in destiny, that only spirit knows. Or maybe, which I believe more, energies are always changing, that, anything can happen as well, and that we should, if we really truly want this, we shouldn't ever give up hope. But let's see what Spirit says in answer to the question where you say, I think, why has my destined partner not yet crossed my path? See what Spirit says. Six of Inspiration. A card of victory, a card of success, a card of hope. A few meanings here. I will pull more cards here, Anne. But this really does say to me that it's kind of cleared the path through all those kind of that doubt. And this is such a certain card, such a positive card that tells me that, you still can succeed in this. It may not look, Anne, the way that you hoped it would look and that you would have wanted it to happen sooner, but for reasons that maybe we'll never know why. But look at this, there's a kind of spotlight shining on this woman, yeah? We have stars here surrounding you. It's almost like a celebrity, isn't it? That's really standing out to me. And these people are looking up to this woman, and it feels like it's about being seen, it's about being acknowledged. And I feel like Spirit has come through to say very strongly that what's important is that this is still on the cards for you and is still possible, and that you will get what you want. You will be victorious. It might not happen the way, like I say, or when you would want it to happen, or how would we would see it happen. What I would say is that I think from what I know of you, Anne, obviously I don't know the full story, but I know enough, I think, to know that you have experienced true love. And what I would say is with that is that even though it can be disappointing when that person can't stay, we can't be in a lifetime commitment and partner, but some people, they can be married to the same person from young and be with them their entire lives and not experience true love. That happens to a lot of people who they get married, it's like not the right person, but they're with that person for their whole lives and they never get to experience love. So it is still a blessing, if I'm right on that, that you have experienced deep love, even though maybe it's been painful because it had to end. But I think lots of people, there's this assumption that if you were married, etc., or in a long-term relationship with someone, that that is your person, when I think it's actually more rare that people actually you know, find a lifetime partner, live a long and happy marriage. That is in the minority. Yeah. Thank you, Anne, for letting me know it resonated. Now I'm going to ask for some more info. So, I mean, that answers that second half of your question, unsure whether to still believe. This would say still believe. Anything else, Spirit? Any messages for Anne? Their person. Oh, here we go. Page of materials. So this is maybe telling us about your person. I feel like their energy. Page of materials is like a meeting of minds. I always see this card. It could be someone with it being materials as well, that you meet through work, through study. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't with that. But look at all these beautiful pinks and this beautiful dress that you were wearing here. Just feels like more encouragement that this is obviously like a strong connection here. Page of materials. Page of materials is, I mean, I know that you've been more than patient, okay, but materials can be, it's like quite a slow moving energy, but I think this is more like in how the relationship will pan out, in the sense of that you will maybe start off in a friendship, or like I say, as a colleague, or as someone who studies, some meeting like that, you know, where it's kind of like that you intellectually get to know each other first, and then the romance of the rose, yeah, and all these flowers comes later. But this is you really blossoming again, sort of having from this connection, getting what you want, having that true valid connection that is grounded as well. So hopeful cards. Maybe the Spirit is saying as well that that's all that we can focus on, and focusing on why it hasn't happened yet can be a bit of a trap and can spiral. It's almost a bit like ruminating on the meaning of life for too long, because we may never truly, you know, none of us truly know until maybe we've passed over it, you know, for example. So let's look forward, and let's instead try to ruminate on this energy of that it is still coming, it is still on its way to us, and not comparing ourselves to maybe other people who, you know, have married, who seemingly have found love. Some people obviously have, but also a lot of those people, there are challenges within that marriage, and, you know, some people may be in a loveless marriage. And that quote, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. And I truly believe, you know, that, and that we just have to accept our journey may look different. But that still doesn't mean that we can't get what we want. But it might just come at a different time. It might just come in a different package. Okay, I'll leave that there. Love and light to you, Anne. Love and light to you. It was a very hopeful card, so I'm glad that you felt that, Anne. Okay, so next we have Tia Bia. I'm not sure if I've seen Tia, but if you are here, my dear, please post. So Tia Bia and Sinise, please go ahead and post. Hey, the list is closed today, but I will be live again on Monday. Just check out the community post for schedule there. Neon bright lights. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for being here though. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Tia, my love. So Tia Bia says, hi, just spoke to Pisces and we had a long convo about what had occurred between us. I invited him to come see me today before I leave on my trip tomorrow. How does he feel? Is there a good chance he comes? Okay, let's have a look at his energy. Spirit, please bring a message through regarding the Pisces of where they're at now, given the current circumstances of where him and Tia are at. There's some anxiety here from him. So anxiety, worried. I remember last time there was some defensive energy there, Tia, that needed to soften, which maybe now has, and it's kind of switched into this more in their head anxiety. You know, this is like how it came up before. It tied themselves in knots really, and not really being able to see things clearly, Tia, because they've got in their head, they've got into their insecurities maybe again. But it feels, if there was any anger before, I feel like that's gone, and instead that's been replaced with more worry, fear and anxiety. I don't know if you were able to tell that from if they gave anything away when in their tone or how they were in this long conversation, if they shared anything about what was the problem for them, you know, with this connection. Tell me more, Spirit. Awakening. So they still, to me, look that they want to work this out. And awakening is, look at this, that coming from their heart center, that there's still a connection here. But they are having kind of light bulb moments in their mind about this connection, maybe about how they want it to be different. I don't know if they express desires of what changes that they'd like to see. But an awakening is just as it describes here. It's a major arcana, and it's an awakening of, I feel like, of changes that they want to see in this connection, and insight and understanding. That's where they're moving to anyway, because we're actually seeing this kind of, they are kind of blocked at the minute with this anxious energy and not seeing things clearly. But I feel like they will move beyond that and switch up into this more wise energy, really. Yeah, so it was anger at first, which is that defensiveness. Seemed like he softened up by the end of the convo. He didn't express that yet, but I reassured him how I will be different. So is that the issue? Is that they want you to be different? That they're upset by your behavior? So like you say, this aligns with, like I mentioned before, the anger is softened. Now, I suppose what I would say is they're worried that, it isn't going to work out, or they're worried that you're not going to change, or they're worried that this can't be different. But then, further in the future, if things can be different, if they can see clearly the changes that they think need to happen, and if that aligns with you, then I see you being able to move forward together. Because that's a major arcana, though, it's a bit like, if this is going to work out, they think this needs to be different, that needs to change. And if that aligns with you, Tia, if you think that makes sense to them and that's fair, I don't know what they are asking of you or the ins and outs of obviously this connection, then I don't see why then that can't happen. So they want this, but they need it to be different. Where they're at now is that they are tentatively and anxiously moving forward with this connection. They want it to work, but they are in their head and they still maybe have a lot of doubts. So I'll leave it there. Yes, it was a misunderstanding, okay, and I didn't take his feelings as serious, okay. Sensitive Pisces, maybe, Tia. So I hope that resonated. Taking into account then, remember this time that anxiety and that worry that they're in will be affecting their mood, will be affecting their actions. But ultimately, they do want to make this work. Love and light here. Keep us posted. Hey Sanice. So Sanice asks, hi dear, what's my current aesthetic or vibe in the universe eyes? I don't know what you mean by that question, Sanice. It's not really how I would read the tarot. Do you mean how does the universe see you? The universe, always sees us in our divine light and most beautiful self. Let me know a bit more, Sanice, about what you mean by that, and I'll see if I can answer that question. Because, like I say, the divine universe, the universal light doesn't judge us, if you would like to see what qualities they think that you have, what your gifts are, maybe that's the best way to answer this question for you. Knight of Voices. Really lovely energy. Like I say, the universe always sees us in our divine light. They do have guidance for us always, and would encourage us. They see our light side, our shadow side, I believe, but they, it's almost the universe is very morally neutral in some ways. I see it as they don't judge. But how they see you, Sanice, is you are still a knight, which is full of kind of youthful energy. Even if you're not youthful in age, this is youthful in spirit, youthful in outlook, and have that kind of exuberance that young people have, which is, wanting to seek out the next adventure, to gain knowledge, to move fast through life, to have fun, to play, to work hard, all that kind of energy, if you get what I mean by that. You're ready for a next adventure. And the Knight of Voices, I would say as well, that they see that you have something to say. So this could be about advice as well, maybe in work and career, if you're not already doing this. That communication in some area, there is some importance, something part of your soul journey where you can succeed. I think you have a skill or a way with maybe other people who can hear and listen and take in what you're trying to say, that you have a skill in communication and a gift. Knight of Voices really has the gift of the gab and is able to get straight to the point and is committed to their truth. So maybe there's some kind of important message that you have, Sanice, that needs to be spoken to others. It can be in the written word, or it can be in, like saying, some kind of career path about communication. It can even be, because it's connected to sort of truth and justice, it could even be political. Nice energy. So I hope that resonated. I'll leave it there. Okay, so Jazz, please go ahead and post your question. And Namira. So Anjali, the list is closed today. Please join us on Monday, and that's the next live. So I'll go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But the list is closed today, unfortunately. So Jazz says, would like to ask about my love life ahead, Seer. Right now, single. Will I be meeting anyone new, a like-minded person? Let's have a look, Jazz. You're welcome, Sanice. Spirit, what is next for Jazz in love, please, on their love journey? Sure thing, Jazz. So they say, right now I'm focusing on my career. Joined a new job 2 months ago. I hope that's going okay, Jazz. Was that your teaching job? I know it was a bit tricky, if I'm remembering right, with the students. Let's have a look what's happening in love. Oof. The major arcana, the Tower moment. Did we have an intense relationship in the past that has broke down? I'm just wondering if this is energies that are still resonating, or it can be what's near future, that it hasn't happened yet. But the Tower moment is like a shock and a sudden change. So for example, it could have been a relationship that you thought was progressing fine and that was maybe had long-term potential, and then suddenly it was over and it broke down. It can be incredibly shocking. It can be incredibly sad. Or it could be a life event. It doesn't even have to be in love, but it's just what's gone on for you. The Tower moment is like sudden change. And what it does is, the Tower is like a really kind of quite brutal shakedown of removing people and places and things that no longer serve you. So it can be, say, for example, something like a job loss, the breakdown of a relationship, you know, a divorce, all those kind of energies. It's that sudden shocking moments in life. A toxic situation, Seer. Okay. So maybe we're still recovering from this, because the fact that this has come through. It was a Pisces person. He never gave me any clarity yet. I waited, but he never chose me. That's sad. That's difficult. And maybe it, you know, really shook you and your confidence in this area. The Tower moment, though, even though it's difficult, even though it's challenging, it actually does put us, you know, it takes away people and places that aren't right for us. So even though that was difficult, that was still, it feels like really it was a blessing that person was removed from your life to make way for the right person. So I feel like those energies are still really affecting you and are still kind of reverberating in your journey of love. But let's see when this is settled, when this is cleared. Can you tell us, Spirit, what comes next, or who comes next? Yeah. It's been 2 years since I let it go, but still I feel bad. Well, you were very strong and brave to let that go. And, you know, 2 years is really, it's not a long time in the great span of things. It can, when someone's had a big impact on us, you know, and we think they're our person, and if we haven't met anyone new as well, then we always look back to the last lover, the last person. Oh, there we go. Oh. Well, you have your soulmate who is coming in next, and this is a, look at this, 2 of emotions, deep dive. So this is one to watch out for when it comes, because it will be very intense. Okay, if we see this couple here who are both, the difference here is, though, Jazz, that it's reciprocated. So this love, 2 of emotions about love, romance, deep love, soulmate connection. Look, we've even got 2 fishes here, but also 2, you know, the 2 people here. So it is on its way to you, a true soulmate connection. I can't speak now. And the difference with this is, Jazz, is that it will be a mutual deep dive of feelings. So as much love as you feel will also be mirrored back to you. So I hope that brings you some peace, that the fact that this has come through, that this is on its way to you. All that we need to do kind of in the meantime, though, is understand that even though 2 years might feel like for a right time, we're still kind of recuperating, recovering. You know, it's okay to focus on your work, and maybe that needs to get in a more stable place, and it wouldn't be the right timing now to experience kind of a deep dive of love whilst we've just started a new career. It could take you, you know, it could derail you off your path. So kind of trust the process is what I'm saying, and continue with your healing. And also maybe the perspective of, I know that you said that you still feel bad, that trust really that this person, Spirit removed this person from your life because they weren't right for you. And try and trust that, and that it was actually a blessing that they've gone. Not that we wish it could have been different, but it was actually they weren't open to the kind of love that we needed. And that kind of love they probably weren't open to with anyone, is what I would say, Jazz. A lot of the time we internalize, you know, it that we weren't good enough, or that they couldn't love us enough. But often I think really those people who play games or are very unavailable, their hearts are closed with everyone. I hope that resonated. Yeah. And work on your manifestations, Jazz, as well, if you feel drawn to do that, with regards to bringing your soulmate in, if that helps bring you some peace and sense of control as well. We can work on visualizations, journaling, meditation, in order to get really specific and clear about who we want to bring through, so that you can bring your soulmate through. Okay, I'll leave that there, but thank you for your question. Namira, my love, this is for you. And Namira says, what do you see coming in love for me? I'm single for a while. Lots of love today, collective energy about love. I'm single for a while, but I don't go out much, so I was wondering how I will meet the person. Namira, you might have to start going out more. Because we can manifest and we can bring through love, I believe, through being very focused and intentional with our manifestations. But there is also like a practical side of kind of the 3D world that we need to be out and about so that we can cross paths with our potential love person, or online dating if that suits, or saying yes to social events. But let's see what Spirit says, Namira. Hey, Ascending Butterfly, and you're very welcome, Jazz. Yes, meditation, journaling, it will help bring you some peace, Jazz, for sure. I'm 100% it will. I hope you're well, Butterfly. Thanks for dropping in. Okay, Namira, what's next in love? What's next in love? Well, it's funny this, because it doesn't often do this, Spirit, bring me such specific messages through sometimes in this way. But it feels very much that it would be through work that you could meet someone. Maybe that feels like an easier, more accessible way to you, Namira. So I know that it doesn't matter where in work, because I know that we talked about work before, that you're not very happy where you are now. It doesn't mean that you couldn't still meet someone that you there was a love interest, or it could be like a next job. But the Queen of Materials is someone who I feel like this is your, this is your energy for sure, Namira, Queen of Materials. She's a multitasker, and you are busy, and maybe because your focus is on work, study, take what resonates with that, but I feel like it is work. Because I know that, am I right that you were retired, but you still do some part-time work? I feel like it will come through there. Can you tell me anything about this person? So we're still in Hanged Man energy, where I feel like, because we're not settled maybe in that area, or we're feeling a bit stuck, or things feel up in the air. This could be to do with work, but also just in love, that it's like we don't know the next move. There's sort of a lack of clarity and we feel stuck. And I feel like really there isn't, we need to kind of just lean into this space right now, this energy. The Hangman always says, like, we don't really need to, it's not about doing more, taking more action or doing more things. We just need to see how this plays out. Like maybe the work that you're in now it could be that you meet someone and maybe that's what changes it and it makes it more that you decide to stay there. Or it could become apparent, you know, that you get a new job opportunity and you pursue that and that you meet someone there. So I feel like the universe is saying it's okay just to keep actually doing what you're doing, and that you don't actually even have to go out and be more social if you don't want to. You don't have to get on the dating apps. The universe is saying actually it's okay just to chill and to really wait this out, and we will bring someone through to you. Through the really positive kind of work that you do. I almost feel like that's where you thrive. Look how sort of just, I feel like, you know, you're very well presented. Like this woman is very strong and confident. Flowers in the hair, you know, that they look good, they feel good. Maybe that's somewhere just that you thrive in that workplace and where you feel comfortable, and that really and somehow allows this person to come through. You know, lots of us, I'm actually one of those people where when I'm in a role and have purpose, that's where I actually feel most comfortable and feel most confident and feel at my best. Namira says, yes. Oh, well, that was last time also my ex-partner I met by work. Yeah. I do that and also volunteer work. Awesome. So it could come through that as well. I did wonder if you did volunteer work. So there we go. We have a very clear answer that this is how you will meet them. So I just feel like just keep doing what you're doing. Keep following that path with your work. You don't need to do anything else. This hangman says, you know, just kind of lean into this stillness and this space at the minute and trust that this person will come through when the timing is right, when the stars align. That's good. I feel comfortable with the people who I work with. Okay, hey Danny. So we have Danny and then Kelsey Wells. If you both want to post your question, please do. Thank you, Danny. Oh, Danny says, yes, I ended things with my partner Greg, the Aries. I began to resent him, yes, as things weren't changing. I was intimate with Esther Pisces and things ended the same day I ended things with Greg. It's too much for me. What's funny is I miss Esther Pisces and I'm disappointed in Greg. Yeah. I just want to focus on my work, make money and achieve my goals. I'm tired of romantic relationships. But I want to know what Esther Pisces feels for me. Thank you. Okay. Well done, Danny, for doing that, because I know that was difficult. But I know that was what needed to happen from our last readings. Yeah. They were a nice guy, but they weren't stepping up. Exactly, it was difficult but needed. So let's have a check-in with your Pisces. Where it seems like there's a stronger attraction there, but they're not. Well, let's have a look at their energy. How do they feel about Danny? Eight of Voices. Someone is in their head about this. Eight of Voices is anxiety, worry, but actually things aren't as bad as they seem. They've got themselves in a dark spot. I don't know if this is your energy, Danny, or theirs. I kind of feel like it might be yours, that there's this person sort of tied themselves in knots. I don't know if you find yourself overthinking about them. In that kind of thoughts spinning way. Limerence, if we've heard of that. Tell me more, Spirit. Ooh. But then we have Two of Emotions, which is a deep dive, a soulmate card, which would tell me that there is mutual feelings here, Danny. You're actually sick now. Sorry to hear that, Danny, and home, so that's how I'm able to catch you live. So I feel like this is reassuring. I think that they are actually reciprocating your feelings, because this Two of Emotions is really kind of a bit undeniable in that sense. It's a very, you know, a balance too. I have these feelings of romance and towards you, and your person, you know, has that back too. So I suppose what it's saying is that these, I'm going to pull one more on their energy. I mean, whoever's feeling anxious, if Tower resonates, leave what doesn't. If you feel like this is you who's got in your head about it. If you haven't, then I feel like then that's their energy that's coming through, because someone's in their head about it. And really what I would say in answer to that question is that that's unfounded. It's not needed, because actually the feelings are mutual here, that we both like each other. We are both into each other. Ten of Inspiration, I feel like it's that you've been able to put that burden down of Greg, and actually there is space now to start something new. I mean, you might not want this, Danny, because I know you said you just want to focus on work. So in that case, it doesn't mean there's something new. Could just be about work, money, keeping things simple and not engaging in romance. But it almost feels like if you wanted it to be romance, if you did want to go down that road, then there is really a new opportunity here for you. What was important was for you to put that burden down. Maybe you feel kind of done with it, because Danny says, I'm missing him, but remembering how things were in the past, but he's different now, more open. But I just need my space. Yeah, I don't want a relationship with him. He says he wants one with me, but I'm like, no. Okay, well, there you go. So there's your answer. Like you've just been able to put this burden down that is Greg. And this is a very burnt out energy with this Ten of Inspiration or Ten of Wands. It's one we're very weary, which I think is where you're at, Danny. Yeah, tired, weary, burnt out, because it's been like a long journey. You've made lots of changes as well, and you had a lot going on, you know, job, house, family. You know, I know that they're a burden to you as well. And the attack that you had, am I right, Danny, which was very shocking, where you were injured. So you've been through like a hell of a lot, you know. So it is time to pause. It is time to simplify things. But I suppose in answer to your question, if you wanted to pursue things with the Pisces, they would be open to that and would reciprocate that. So the ball is in your court, yeah? If you don't want to do it, I totally understand. It can just being other feel at this point the timing is not right. Danny says, yeah, I feel exhausted. I do not even care to explain why I'm ending things. Yeah, just ended it, ignored him. I've had too much on my plate. That shooting, yeah, changed me as well. I can imagine, Danny, that was just really unbelievable. Like you say, life-changing stuff. So not wanting to put up with any rubbish, anymore after being through that, you losing the inability, to put up with people's rubbish. So do what you want to do, Danny. Yeah, this is your time. You've done the right thing and ended that. You've shook off that burden. You know that this Pisces would want to reconnect with you, but really it's not the right time to open yourself up to that. But Spirit has answered that question to say, yeah, they do want to. I feel like then this anxiety must lie with them, because I don't think it lies with you. So it's funny that, isn't it, when we could really maybe want to be with someone and they don't want to be with us, and when they want to be with us, we're not bothered about being with them. What is that about? I don't know, but it seems to happen. It seems to happen a lot. I think that's... Yeah, not right now, says Danny. The reading gave me clarity. Good. No more rubbish. Lol, I like that word, rubbish. Yeah. No, I'm not anxious at all. I feel very relaxed and at peace now. So it's your Pisces that is worried, that is anxious, Danny. It's funny. Now they're worrying about you. I don't know. It's some twisted yin and yang kind of vibes with that. We always want what we can't have, maybe. I'm glad to check in with you, Danny. Love and light to you. Okay, Kelsey. I'll scroll back to your question. I see that you did post. So Kelsey asks, hello, may I know who is coming towards me in love? I go out a lot, but no guy ever seems to approach me, so I wonder if I'm not attractive enough. I'm sure that's not the case, Chelsea. I always think nowadays that men seem to want to be approached by women. That's what I hear a lot. Not that I go out, but that's what I've heard. Which I'm a bit old-fashioned or traditional in the sense that I feel like the men should chat up the girls, no? Okay, Kelsey, this is for you. What is next in love? Oh, we need to lock in on our manifestations. You have the power, you have the ability, Kelsey. The Magician is to say that you have some power that you have not tapped into fully, about being able to manifest what we want, what we dream, into our 3D, into our reality. We have all the tools here laid out before us. Sometimes maybe, like, Kelsey, in a going out environment, like, that might not be the right environment for you as well. If there's other ways, I don't know if you've tried online dating. I mean, I know that has its own problems and difficulties as well. Or if maybe just focusing on your manifestation and getting very clear and intentional about who you want to bring through will help bring this person through and speed up the process. As I always say, creating a daily practice is the best way to do it. I often found if we can do it daily, then we can shift the energy. I believe in around 30 days is enough time to have a breakthrough. So a daily practice being a meditation, visualization, minimum 15 minutes, can be longer if you want, but minimum 15 minutes. Journaling, if you feel inspired to do that, as well as, or if you prefer to do that on an evening before you go to sleep, because then that goes into your subconscious. So we can listen to guided meditations. There are so many on YouTube. I've done guided meditations as well about attracting the love that you want. Journaling, writing down the qualities that you want in this person. If you can do that every day for 30 days and stick to that religiously, then I will almost guarantee that you will have some kind of breakthrough in this area, Kelsey. Forget about, go out, have fun, enjoy yourself, but forget about searching for someone, waiting for someone to approach you, or just focus on this manifestation. Do that daily, check in, and then, go out with the aim to have fun. Maybe not necessarily to meet them, just say, oh yeah, if that happens, it happens, that's great. But take the pressure off that, don't make that the sole purpose of going out. To try to take the pressure off, to try to take the intensity out of that, or that need, or even like a state of lack of going out, wanting to be noticed, which is natural and normal, wanting to meet someone, and then that not happening, and that kind of getting us in a bad spot and a feeling of lack. Because if we've done our manifestations, then it's like we can know it's begin to believe and know and trust that it's coming through. So you're on dating apps as well. So you're doing everything that you can that way, Kelsey. And I would sort of do a, full on kind of project. If this is what you really, really want, full on project, bring this person through to me. Go out, do the dating apps, but do this manifestation practice so that you are in an abundant mindset. And like I say, come back to me if you can do this religiously. And then in 30 days, I would almost guarantee that you would have some kind of breakthrough in this area. Okay, so we have Eco 7 and Positive Bear. Ah, perfect. Thank you so much for posting. You're welcome, Kelsey. Keep us posted. So Eco 7 says, I'm currently working on a project that is extremely tedious, but hoping there is balance at the end result. I'm wondering if this work process is worth it long term. Would there be abundance? Okay, let's have a look. So, Spirit, please bring some advice and guidance through for Eco 7 regarding their current project. So in the long run, will it be prosperous? Will it be abundant? The wheel will turn. So yes, in the sense that this is the energy that you're in now. So this sounds like with this tedious that you are, you're pushing the wheel like it's on your shoulders, on your back, Eco 7, yeah? And it feels like it's just pure effort, hard work. But there will be some kind of tipping point. So we get to the top here, and then spirit, momentum, breakthrough will happen. And it will take over, and we can in some ways I feel like that at that point we can take a step back. It's a bit like with you know, the algorithm, if you think about that with social media. If we keep feeding the algorithm, and if you give it enough data, as long as it's of certain quality, you know, or even not, maybe, you know, if you see some people's if you give it enough data, feed the machine, then at some point there is a tipping point where you'll go, you know, mini viral or viral. That was just one example. So yes, really, in answer to your question, this will pay off. I'm going to ask another question if this is something that you should continue to do. I feel like maybe, you know, maybe you've certainly with this venture, with this time around doing it, that it will pay off. To do something really long term that is tedious, I don't know, because I'm a great fan of, you know, working smarter, not harder, and finding solutions. But maybe we need to keep doing this until we think of something different, until we think of, you know, let's do what's in front of us as well. Because this is very encouraging. It's a major arcana and it says, yes, you know, continue to do this. It will pay off. One more, please, Spirit. Ooh. Two of emotions. So when it's not a love reading, this is about connecting to what aligns with our soul. So I think at the point of, you know, does it feel draining, Eco 7? Does it feel, we can tell the difference, and I'm sure you as a creative person and as an artist, but we all have it, you know, as humans within us. When there is something that can be hard work and tedious and those things, but yet we feel connected to it, because the two of emotions is all about a deep connection and being aligned. And then it feels like that we're doing something real and we're doing something productive, and there is something that feeds our soul from that, okay? But then there's stuff that is tedious and just really, really drains us. You know, if it's creative and but it just becomes hard work. And it's got no life to it. And it's actually, you know, it's not feeding us at all. So I suppose it's important to ask yourself that question long term. Does this light you up in any way? Does this feel connected to your passion, like to the art that you're trying to create or the work that you're trying to create? Does it, even though it's incredibly hard work and tedious, does it, you know, does it give you some kind of energy, or does it make you kind of go like, oh, you know, dear God, make this end? I'm just thinking if I'm doing this too much. Well, do it to that point of before it becomes completely draining. You know, if something has got no life to it anymore and we're just kind of banging on a drum, you know, or beating a dead horse, that is when we need to take a step back. I mean, maybe when this switch up happens, you know, this we're overthinking it maybe at this time. Okay, so it does align with your soul purpose. I would continue until if something changes. Like if you see another way of doing it, if you see an easier way of doing it, a better way of doing it, Eco 7 then, as a creative person, as an artist, as a creator, that's the best kind of, having agility is one of the best skills to have, the ability to adapt and change when something isn't working. But now I feel like for Spirit's message at the moment is keep doing this. This is what's in front of you, so it's okay. You're maybe overthinking it a bit too much. So, and I think as well, we need to wait for this Wheel of Fortune energy to change. So at some point it's going to become easier. Like maybe if you get the payoff, if you get the success that this card promises it will bring, that then it might make you feel like, oh, actually, I feel totally invested in this, and I don't feel in two minds about it, because the payoff has been so good that I'm even more invested and into this, and it doesn't feel pointless, it doesn't feel tedious, because you've seen the payoff. It's hard at this point because you haven't, you're still at that point where that hasn't happened yet. But when that does, then you might think, okay, yeah, this is totally worth continuing with. See what the payoff is, and then yeah, keep doing this for as long as it feels aligned to your soul, as long as it feels as aligned to your path, and try not to overthink it too much, and it will pay off. Doesn't mean that you have to continue doing it forever. I think, like, just do it now. It doesn't mean that you have to do it forever. The sound is still going. Let me know if you might have to go back, Eco, and watch that again. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, last but not least, Positive Bear. Nice to have you here. Welcome to the space. Positive Bear says, I am curious about any money coming towards me. I want to be self-sufficient, awesome, and financially stable without depending on my parents. Will my finance situation improve so my desires can be fulfilled? Let's have a look, Positive Bear, what's happening for you financially. Spirit, what is coming up for Positive Bear regarding money and finance in the near future? Whoa. Okay, I'm going to take these because they literally flew out. The Death card is what I saw first. You've got, what I'd like to say, Positive Bear, is first off that you've got two major arcanas. So major arcanas are the cards of the deck. I don't know how much you know tarot, but they speak of very big energies, potent energies, and important shifts, significant shifts, and grappling with big energies. So the Death card is a card of transformation, essentially. Some people freak out when we see the Death card, but really all it talks about is a deep transformation that is happening from us. And this for you, Positive Bear, is like that you're in the middle of this, and that we get to, it's the image here is a moth, but often the traditional image of transformation is a butterfly, but essentially it's about breaking out of that chrysalis, which I think is about you breaking out and becoming independent. And the fact that you have that desire and have that need, tells me a lot about your character and yourself as well. But this is you getting this opportunity to break out and break through. So it will happen as long as we are, like I always say with kind of manifesting what we want, as long as we're also doing the practical side of, whatever, following studies, if this will lead to where you want to be, or applying for jobs, if we're trying to look for positions that suit us and that align for us, you know, getting ourselves out there basically in the world. And this is the promise that you will get to where you want to be. Death card is just as much as a rebirth card, okay? Like being reborn and getting an opportunity to find our own identity, and being independent and being self-sufficient allows us to do that, to find out who we are separate from our families, separate, you know, financially independent. We have freedom in that. So you don't have to ask anyone's permission or feel obligated to them, and you can do as you please. Now, how do we get here? How does this transformation happen? It's backed up with this Hierophant energy here. And the Hierophant energy is about really doing things by the book. So we need to do things step by step, which maybe might feel boring or too slow for us, but it's really the most guaranteed way of getting to where we want to go. Can you see how these lanterns light the path, are lighting the way for you? So I don't know if you have a goal of where you want to get, but the Hierophant is about really not making any rash moves and doing the right thing. Okay, it's about literally going from A, B, C, D. Like, we need to follow that plan. We might want to get to Z, but we can't go from A to Z. First we have to do A, B, C, D, etc., yeah, in order to get there. And that's for you to reach your goal, Positive Bear. So as long as you, I don't know how far you've got with this, how that plan looks like, but I feel like Spirit is saying, look, this is pretty much guaranteed and in the bag for you, but we just need to take those steps, do what's in front of us, do what's next, even if that first step or wherever you're at with it is kind of feels too small or doesn't feel where we want to be. We still need to do the first step to get to the second, to get to the third. You know, it's a journey, and it's understanding that and really having that maturity, I suppose, as well. But two major arcanas there. So this is great energy, and I feel like Spirit really has a lot of support and has your back for this and says it absolutely can happen. You're in the midst of a transformation, and to fully achieve it, fully realize it, we just need to do things by the book and take things step by step. I hope that resonated. You're very welcome, Positive Bear. Thanks, Eco7, for letting me know, Agad, that you could hear me going back. Okay, I'm going to end the live there, guys. Thank you all for those who participated, who asked your question. Thank you for joining us. I hope the messages that you received brought you clarity, peace, and inspiration for the days ahead. Remember to take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always trust your own inner guidance. And I'll be back on our next live on Monday, so keep an eye out on the community tab for schedule and updates. And until then, be kind to yourselves, keep centering your energy, and stay open to guidance from Spirit, sending you all love and light. Take care, and I'll see you soon.